Changes Naruto by Jake. Chapter 41. Plans in Motion. What do you mean you asked Hinata to marry you? Mom and Dad will freak, Kara practically yelled. Naruto shoved his hands into his pockets and grunted. It's not like they have the right to. I mean, they just started not ignoring me. Why should I even tell them? Besides, it's just a promise ring. Naomi pinched his arm lightly. You're being a big dummy again, brother. Where's Hinata anyway? She went back home to shower and check in with Haishi. I'm talking to her. A strange feeling of dread overcame Naruto as he felt the ground rumble. Hinata! He took off quickly, that the wind knocked his sister's back, his chakra cloak flaring to life and increasing the speed he was moving by. He arrived at the Hyuga compound to see his father there, pulling Hyuga clan members out of the rubber. Naruto! Someone took Hinata! Naruto's eyes widened and his cloak disabled. Which way? Which way? Naruto began to feel his cloak making its power signature in the air. Minato paused at the sheer power he sensed awakening inside Naruto. Fine, it was a white-haired man. He took her east, towards the valley at the end. Be careful. He's got some telepathic abilities, and is extremely talented with a sword. Naruto nodded and began to float, then took off at speeds Minato couldn't follow. Sasuke suddenly peeled next to Minato. What's going on? Naruto's chakra was high enough for me to sense it from lightning country. One of the immortals took Hinata. Naruto is going after them. I want you to absorb my sage chakra. It will teach you to use it, and it will bring your power up substantially. You know an ability of the Raizan to intensely how to use any jutsu you absorb. Minato's eyes turned to pale gold, with red markings over his eyes. Sasuke nodded, and they clasped hands. Anything I should know? If you don't stimulate it into your chakra perfectly, it should turn you into stone. Minato's eyes faded to a blue, and Sasuke's eyes changed completely. His Sharingan eye became orange, and his Rasengan eye glowed slightly. Dark blue lines like tears came from his eyes. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Before they could leave, Minato handed him a tairikune. I'll get there as quickly as I can. Sasuke nodded and teleported to Naruto's location. When he appeared, he saw Naruto fighting a white-haired man, while Ichi watched with a dark smile on his face. Ichi just laughed and said, Not at the moment, but I can get him a message if you'd like. The white-haired man made a fist at Naruto, and Naruto suddenly stopped moving, the air shimmering and flexing as Naruto struggled against it. You're very strong for a human, but you're still holding back, afraid of hurting the girl. Sasuke noticed that Hinata was unconscious at Ichi's feet, and Ichi looked at the fight in anticipation. Then Sasuke saw the black around Ichi's Sharingan and understood. You're not Ichi. Right, you are. Your friend will die soon, unless you help him. Ichi's voice was only slightly different. My name is Raizen, though. I'd appreciate if you'd stop calling me by your brother's name. Sasuke drew his sword and teleported to the white-haired man, aimed at taking his head off, only to miss and be hurled to the ground by an invisible force. Shin, you can't fight at that level for much longer. Even with being a demigod, Gates will kill you. Raizen called out calmly. Shin wiped blood from his nose. I know, but right now I don't care. This is the best battle I've ever had. Naruto screamed. He broke the telekinetic hold over him, making his truth-seeing balls fly out and attack the man. Sasuke hurled a bolt of lightning into Shin's back, burning his shirt and skin beneath it. Shin collapsed, his hands together, making the sound implode on Naruto and trap him inside the spear of rock. Sasuke reacted quickly and teleported Naruto out before he could suffocate. Master, He stopped when he saw Raizen's face. You're gonna let me die. Raizen nodded as Naruto threw a punch that separated Shin's head from its shoulders. Very impressive, Naruto. Now let me see how you handle this. Raizen bent over and pulled a small blue flame-like substance from Hinata's mouth, then hurled it into the golden ring. Naruto stalked forwards, ready to kill the man before him. Before you try to kill me, you should know your girlfriend will die in a few minutes. Ryzen smiled as Naruto stopped in his tracks. What? His cloak vanished, showing a terrified look on his face. You see, when a human soul is ripped from its body, the body begins to die. The blue energy I threw into the gate wasn't chakra, it was her soul. There she remained for all of eternity unless you use your truth-seeking orbs to tear open the portal. There is a small hole the size of a coin that I escaped from, and that I threw her soul through. You open the portal, I'll receive her soul. Naruto fell to his knees as he processed the information. No, it can't be. Sasuke watched, wary of Naruto's choice. Then Naruto stood, glared at Ryzen, his cloak rounding back full force. I hate you. You're making me choose between the earth and Hinata. I choose Hinata every time. He walked closer to the portal, only to be slapped backwards by an invisible force. Naruto impaled upon the crown wall with so much force it collapsed on top of him. Can't let you do that, Naruto. Naruto flailed his cloak, sending the rebel away from him in all directions. Move, Sasuke, I don't want to hurt you. Sasuke didn't budge. Chills welled up in his eyes. Stop it, Naruto. If you open that portal, you'll unleash hell on the earth. I don't want you hurt, but I will. So be it. Naruto and Sasuke collided mid-air with so much force that the clouds parted and the earth split open. You've gotten stronger. Sasuke nodded, then whispered, Sharan Tensei. A blast of gravity held Naruto away. Sasuke followed up with a massive blast of fire from his infinity blade. The fire got so hot that the sand was melted into glass, but Naruto charged through the flames and tried to deliver a punch to Sasuke. Sasuke teleported just before the punch could hit, and then summoned his compressed sun snow and began attacking Naruto relentlessly. They both vanished from the normal sight, though you could still feel the fight whenever one landed an attack on the other. Ryzen watched with interest. We're actually becoming stronger as the fight continues. Incredible. Sasuke and Naruto took to the skies, Sasuke using his Sansono wings to fly, Naruto using pure energy. Ryzen then sighed and aimed a hand at Sasuke. When he made a fist, Sasuke fell to the earth, clutching his heart. Sorry, Sasuke, I needed him to do this. You will not stand in my way. Naruto landed near Ryzen, seeing Sasuke go pale and sweat from his skin. What are you doing to him? Ryzen smiled. Any body I possess acquires my active godlike abilities, the strongest of which just happens to be telekinesis. Shin lacking the control I have, but sure you felt how powerful it is. I'm not doing much other than squeezing his organs. Ryzen pulled Ichi's blade from the sheath and began stalking forwards. He grabbed Sasuke by the throat and lifted him up, then raised the blade. Sasuke, in a last-ditch effort, called out, Ichi, wake up! You're about to kill me, your little brother! Ryzen brought the blade down in a light speed, only to cry out in anger and pain as he stabbed his own leg. Curse you, Ichi. Naruto, the girl doesn't have much longer. It's your decision. Naruto kicked Sasuke away. Sorry, Sasuke. I refuse to be without her. A yellow flash interrupted them. Naruto, what are you doing? Naruto glared. I'm saving Hinata. Her soul is trapped in the portal. It's too small for anyone to go through. But if I rip open the portal, I can get her soul out. Minato looked at the ring, spawning the small hole. No, son, I can get her. Ryzen's eyes widened as he tried to grab Minato, only for gravity to hold him back. No, you bastard. Minato pulled a kunai from his cloak and broke off the blade on the side so it fit, then hurled the kunai through the portal. I'll be back soon, I promise. He vanished into a flash of yellow. Ryzen began chuckling. Your father would die. My brothers would never let him leave alive. Chapter 42. Fight. Ryzen grunted against the weight. If you think I'll let you win, you're wrong. He flared his telekinesis powers, filling himself and pushing everyone but Naruto and Sasuke back. Sasuke, I want to fight him alone. When my father comes back with Hinata's soul, you're the only one who can put it back in her body before she dies. Naruto was glaring at Ryzen, his Azores settled tightly around his body. It looked different though, less baggy. The cloak part was shorter and stopped just above his hips. His eyes were golden instead of orange, and it seemed like it was much more controlled. Yeah, I got you, Naruto, but I get to fight the next ancient monster with impossible powers levels. Got it? Sasuke asked jokingly. Naruto nodded and began to float. You got it. Ryzen slowly began floating. So you intend to take me alone? I'll admit, I'm not even half my normal power when I'm in a vessel like this, but still, no human is on par with me. Do I look human to you? No, today I am the Sharingan. Naruto moved forwards with such speed that Sasuke believed he teleported. Raisin caught his fist with his left hand and placed his right on Naruto's chest, using the moment against him, and hurled Naruto in the canyon wall. Come on, Brad, is that all you've got? Heaven's wrath! A giant beam of gold energy shot from the hole Naruto was in, heading straight for Raisin. Raisin put up his right hand, and the blast looked like it hit the wall, just in front of Raisin, exploding in all directions except Raisin's. Raisin breathed out. That one might have hurt, kid. Looky, I'm the strongest telekinesis to ever live. He didn't see the next part, though. The blast had been a distraction. Naruto came down with an axe kick that sent Raisin to the ground like a meteor, creating a massive crater. Raisin pushed himself to his feet, wiping the small cut on his forehead. I'm impressed. I honestly can't remember anyone other than Kaguya and her sons that could hurt me, even if I'm fighting with a handicap. Naruto and Raisin began to exchange punches, kicks, and blocks, the first the earth to quake in terror. Naruto created a sword from his truth-seeking balls and forced Raisin onto the defensive. So this is a game, eh? I call forth my blades of darkness and our instruments, named after the black flames that burn anything in their paths. A black blade with spiraled edges and one hand grip appeared in his hand. Raisin stepped forward, swinging from his left to his right. Naruto ducked low, only for Raisin to spin the blade in reverse grip and bring it into a stab downwards. Naruto twisted out of the way, but took a shallow cut to his left pectoral muscle. Raisin grinned at Naruto. It's different fighting when your opponent is obviously more comfortable with a weapon, isn't it? I've been much of a baler, but my sword skills allow me to kill Kaguya. And they allow me to kill you today. Damn, you talk a lot. Naruto and Raisin began fighting, this time with Raisin having an obvious advantage. Minato appeared inside a pitch-black room with two men standing together, and one sitting with his eyes closed. You must be Raisin's brothers. I won't waste any time trying to fight you if I don't have to. Can you tell me where the soul is that was thrown in here just now? Minato sounded polite, but actually, he'd marked the ground beneath his feet with a sill, a trick he picked up from his wife. One of the men stepped forward and looked considerably younger than the other two, with bright red hair and skin, like a male version of his wife. The sill on his bodies were black, but looked similar to Raisin's. Yeah, well, think about eating it. I haven't eaten any soul since we got locked in here, you know? Minato chuckled slightly, still on high alert against these guys. You wouldn't happen to be an Uzumaki, would you? I used to be. Raisin found me as a kid and raised me as his brother. When I got hurt really bad, he turned me, even against his real brother's wishes. He replied, casually getting an annoyed scoff. Never gonna let me live that down, are you? You're the second demigod he's ever turned. Well, he and I are gods, period. Of course I don't want you around. You really aren't like us. The older one smiled softly. He looked to be in his early 20s, with spiky hair and blood-red eyes. His frame was smaller than the one who was sitting, but Minato could still see quite confidently that he could only come from warriors in him. His seals were lime green. Could I please have the soul? The younger one chuckled. If you think it's that easy, you're either stupid or insane. Well, I don't think I'm crazy, but considering how I've been with my son till now, I'm inclined to think I might be stupid. Minato chuckled. and crunched low, readying his Rasengan. The younger one smirked. Can I fight him, Irigo, please? Yes, fight to your heart's consent, Sky. The other brother stepped back. You human, if you beat my brother, you can have the soul right away. He pulled a small blue glowing ball from his cloak pocket. Minato glared. This isn't a game, but I'll play along. Who's the strongest of you? Ichigo smiled. Technically I am, because Ryzen is possessing someone, but Ryzen is the strongest usually. Sky shot forward, unable to contain his excitement. Minato blocked a kick, only to have Sky spin around and have another one coming from the other side of his face. Minato stepped back, trying to get his bearings, but had to deflect inhumanly fast punches. For a human, you've got nice reflexes, mister, Sky yelled happily. Minato was struggling to keep up with the young immortal. If he were having this much trouble with the weakest one, then there's no way he could let them all have their way. Minato sidestepped an overexcited punch and created a Rasengan that he plowed into Sai's gut, sending him rocketing back. I'll use Hashin to catch them off guard, he thought, throwing a tri-blade kunai at Ego. Ego caught the blade and looked confused. I'm giving you an opportunity to fight one-on-one, but you spit in my boom. Minato had teleported to the kunai and placed a devastating kick while simultaneously grabbing the soul from the demon's pocket. Minato held the soul close as he began to sprint towards the exit. He tried to teleport to one of the daggers on the outside, but for some reason his Harusung wouldn't activate. He needed to be closer to the portal. He got stopped 20 feet from the small portal by a spearing pain in his right shoulder blade. A gold chain was holding him into place. Damn it. Shadow clone jutsu. A clone appeared next to him and grabbed the soul from Minato, then sprinted towards the portal. The second chain, with a spike, flew out past his right side, only for Minato to grab it, stopping it from destroying his clone. He smiled slightly when he saw the flash of yellow. You little cheat. Ego grabbed Minato by the throat and began punching him with the other arm. Chapter 33, Sacrifice. Sasuke was barely keeping Hinata alive, strengthening her life force while he waited for Minato. When he saw the flash of yellow, he breathed a sigh of relief and noticed a difference in Minato. With a Sharingan or Baigon, he'd have never noticed, but the Ryzen is stronger. Is he? Minato shook his head. I'm just a clone. Can you do this quickly and help Naruto kill that bastard? I've got enough chakra to last an hour or two, and I need to talk to my son. Sasuke nodded. Yeah, give me your soul. Sasuke gingerly took Hinata's soul into his hand and placed it to her chest and then closed his eyes. Bright blue light poured from beneath his fingers. He looked like he was concentrating fully on what he was doing. Naruto sidestepped a forward stab, taking a gash across his ribs and delivering a powerful punch to Ryzen's cheek. The punch sent Ryzen spiraling, but before Naruto could follow up, he used telekinesis to right himself. You're pissing me off, brat. Naruto breathed out heavily. At certain points, he's got a lucky shot, and like that, but Ryzen had superior skills. He couldn't get lucky forever. Ryzen compressed a ball of highly compressed telekinesis energy and threw it at Naruto. Naruto blocked it with his palms and then tore it in half. Naruto sent his tooth-seeking balls forward. Watching closely as Ryzen dodged the orbs, Naruto smirked as he forced the orbs to grab the blade and stop Ryzen. Impressive. He aimed a smaller dagger at his own neck. Release my blade or I kill your teacher. The man you see as a father figure. The man you look up to most. Naruto's resolve shook. Ichi-sensei. He was interrupted by a flicker in the air. A slash across Ryzen's chest. Blood spattered out and Ryzen dropped the sword in shock. Sasuke had the infinity sword in his right hand with blood dripping from the tip. It's high time we kill this parasite, Naruto. Sasuke, is Hinata? Sasuke nodded. She's fine. Low in chakra, but fine. Naruto nodded, then turned his attention back to Raizen, who held his chest in pain and confusion. It's not healing. You possess the Blade of Affinity, one of the few weapons that can kill me. I can be killed by a person blessed with a sage cloak, or one of the weapons the Kage stole from my wife. That does not feel like sitting in the Kage. It doesn't burn like the Raizen bow. And it's definitely not the Sanjun Kantai. So it must be the Infinity Blade. You're considerably faster than your friend here, but perhaps I should keep fighting, force you to kill your brother. Sasuke interrupted. Shut up. Ichi would rather die than be your puppet. Smirked to that. You're probably right about that. He's fighting me the entire way, forcing my arm to be off, throwing off my chakra control, and screaming in my mind. He's the most stubborn vessel I've ever had. Such willpower is unheard of in mortals. Sasuke and Naruto both shot forward, intent on ending this fight. Sasuke landed his sword forwards, stabbing Raizen in the chest. Naruto punched Raizen in the cheek. There was such a force that the ground gave away all around them, as if it were made of water. The dust cloud blinded Naruto and Sasuke, Raizen rocketing back, straight into the canyon wall. The wall crumbled at all sides, and Raizen was bleeding heavily. Raizen coughed, eyes halfway closed, and breathing shower. I refuse to be killed. Heaven's wrath. Amarusu. Naruto filed the golden beam of powerful energy. Sasuke covered the golden energy in black flames. The blast carved a mile-long path through the canyon before detonating like a bomb. Naruto fell to his knees. His cloak vanished. Too much chakra. Sasuke scoffed. To have an ass and last an hour, fighting at the level that makes Kage useless, being tired is understandable. Naruto pushed himself to his feet. Yeah, I'm running on fumes at the moment. Sasuke grabbed his shoulder. I gotta take you back. Something happened. They didn't teleport to the portal's entrance. Minato sighed in relief as he saw them appear. Naruto rushed to Hinata's unconscious form. Hinata-chan, he whispers. Naruto, I need to talk to you. This may be my last chance to do it. Minato kneeled down to Naruto and placed a hand on his shoulder. Naruto looked at Minato. All right, speak. First, I'm not actually Minato. I'm a shadow clone. Try not to dispel me before I'm done, Minato said. Naruto's eyes widened. If you're a shadow clone, then that means... Minato didn't make it out. He created me and gave me the soul. The two inside the portal have him. I want to tell you some things. I should have told you a long time ago. I'm unsure of what to say, honestly. Naruto cast his eyes downwards, feeling depression and sadness at his father's fate. Despite being ignorant till recently, it's still his father. Minato rubbed the tears from his cheek. Strange, I didn't know shadow clones could cry. Naruto, you're my firstborn, my son. I should have never ignored you like I did. Perhaps if I hadn't made so many mistakes, none of this would happen. I'm sorry for everything, and I know I've never done anything to show it, but I love you, son. You're coming along as a great ninja, and if you wanted, you could easily become Hokage. Though I feel you have to fight Sasuke tooth and nail for that position. He may not show it, but he cares a great deal for the village. Do me a favor, kick Jirai in the balls next time you see him. For ever telling me those bullshit prophecies. Naruto let tears drop from his cheeks. I can open the portal and get you out. You don't have to die. Minato shook his head. The youngest is Kage level, and the oldest is almost as strong as Raizen in his real body. If you open the portal, he'll kill all of you. I already tried teleporting in the portal. It's got protection against Raizen's telekinesis. Sasuke spoke softly. Then Naruto hugged Minato's shadow clone. I'm sorry, Dad. Don't be, son. Tell your mother I love her. Watch out for your sisters. He vanished in a plume of smoke. Where'd he go? He still had chakra left, Naruto yelled. Sasuke sighed. You already know the answer. There are 4 ways to dispel a shadow clone. They run out of chakra, you dispel them, they take an impact, or... Naruto-kun? Naruto jumped at the soft voice of Hinata, the person he loved more than anything. Hinata-chan, you're awake. He picked her up and held her close as he could. I'm not letting you out of my sight again. She giggled into her shirt as he began to cry. Are you okay, Naruto-kan? Yeah, just overwhelmed. Hokage, no, my dad had to die to get you out. She hugged him slightly. I'm sorry, Naruto-kan. We'll work this out. We need to get back to the village. Let everyone know what happened. Chapter 44. Sasuke looked at Naruto and Hinata. Since your hands aren't free, I'll grab your shoulder. Naruto chuckled at that. Despite Hinata's insistence that she could walk, Naruto carried her in his arms. Hinata just smiled and replied, I'm sorry, Sasuke. He's being overprotective. It's fine. I understand. He's only doing it because he loves you. Sasuke gripped Naruto's shoulder and the three of them teleported to the council room, where a meeting between civilians and ninja clan heads was being held. Most of the ninja and civilians began to smile, probably thinking everything worked out, but not Shikara Naru. Where's Minato-sama? Naruto looked away slightly. He didn't make it. Troublesome. I assume it was a threat that took Hinata, he replied. Naruto nodded. It cost my father his life to save us. He died like a true Kage, protecting his people no matter the cost. Shikari nodded. Damn it. I hate to bring this up so soon, but without a Kage, we are vulnerable to attack. We should decide soon. Some of the civilians nodded their head. I nominate Domino Samaru. I nominate myself, Sasuke scoffed. Sakura spoke. I nominate Kakashi Kashiki. Seems things are up for a vote. As advisors to the Hokage and head of the Samaru clan, I use my 2 votes on myself. Danzun spoke loud and clearly. Naruto and Sasuke felt the trick of a very subtle genjutsu. Everyone wait. Someone is using genjutsu. Sasuke crossed his arms, scanning the room with his Sharingan. Hage, do me a favor and use your Baigon to look at Danzun. I see chocolate blood up in his eyes and right arm. Hashi nodded and then gasped at what he saw. He has a total of 10 Sharingans, 1 in its eyes socket, 9 in his arms. Danzu gritted his teeth. Everything I did was for the protection of the Sasuke teleported forward and ripped bandages off his face and arms, with such ease that it looked like he took a toy from a child. Sasuke gazed down at Daizon. 10 Sharingan. You killed 5 of my clan members for power. Council! Sasuke lifted Danzo with gravity manipulation. I'm taking him to deal with my own punishment. I'll be back. They both vanished in an instant, and Sakura smirked. I guess that makes Kakashi the Hokage. Yeah, Danzo will probably die. Sasuke is too temperamental at the moment. Naruto chuckled. Inchi Yanamaraka spoke. Naruto, why don't you try for the petition? I don't want it, not my thing. Naruto scratched at his cheek. I like to be around more for my future family. Hinata turned pink in the face. Family? Hashi didn't say it, but he was glad his daughter managed to get a shinobi as powerful as Naruto as a potential husband. Children will bring great power and honor to the Hyuga family. Sasuke returned seconds later, and Danzo won't trouble anyone from this dimension anymore. What did you do? Shamaru asked. Sasuke smirked. He isn't dead. I took him somewhere where time doesn't reach. He'll never die, but he will remain in isolation. I took him to the void, the place of nothing. You need to either my eye or something extremely similar to get him back. I've kept my mouth quiet long enough. I want an execution order plan for Kara Nuzumaki. A civilian woman stood angrily. Naruto went to punch her. Even weakened from chakra exhaustion, he was still stronger than most Chunin. Sasuke caught Naruto's elbow before it made contact, but the wind still knocked the woman off her feet. And the one with the monster as well, she pointed at Naruto. Lady Meguku, why would you ask that of us? Shamaru tried to reason. Sasuke pulled Naruto farther. Stop, she's not worth it. She contains the nine-tailed fox. That should be reason enough. And this creature has inhuman chakra. You all felt his power. No human has that kind of power. Magyukaru cried as Fuju touched her shoulder. I understand, and the Uchiha clan supported this decision. Fugi surprised everyone. Father, Sasuke yelled angrily. Naruto and Kara have done nothing to earn execution. In fact, Naruto and I just saved the world from being turned to run by guards from another world. Naruto put his hand on Sasuke's shoulder to reassure his friend that things would work out. The woman stood. The Uzumaki also support this decision, as do the Amchuki. The Yamaruns do not support this decision. The Naras do not support this troublesome choice. All civilian clan heads support this idea. Hitachi grunted. The Hokage are appalled by this and will not support it. Fugi smirked. Seems we're on the majority vote. Tears fell from Hinata's eyes, and Naruto squeezed her hand. I warn all of you, I will not go without a fight. The only one in this room who can fight me is Sasuke, and I doubt he will help you do this. If you try to kill me or harm Kara, I will declare myself a missing nin and the enemy at Konoha. Naruto's voice was cold and quiet, but loud enough to be heard. Hashi spoke. Hinata, if this happens, what will you do? I will stay with Naruto no matter what. If he dies, I die too. Her voice didn't shake or waver as she declared her stance and activated her Barigon. Hitachi sighed. I thought so. Naruto, promise me you will protect her. I already planned on it, Gramps. Naruto grinned, and Hashi's little leader, who offered a small smile back. Fugi pointed. Ambu, kill them. Nope. A man with incredible physique and a white mask with a skull-like design replied. He dropped the mask to his ear. Zambu. The other two dipped the mask as well, showing themselves as Dragon and Haku. They brought us here. If they leave, we leave. Fugi glared, knowing he couldn't fight them. Very well. From this point on, you are all labeled SSS, class missing nin, with kill on side orders. Sasuke glared. Very well, father. The Naruto, Hinata, Zubai, Haku, and Dragon vanished. Naruto caught Sasuke as he stumbled. Wow, too many people. They had evaporated to Naruto's house. Big brother, Naomi asked, confused as she stepped out. Get Kara and Mom. We've been banished. Well, you and Mom haven't, but I need Kara out of here, Naruto called to her. Chapter 45. Shit. Naruto had imported a yellow aura of chakra over everyone to increase their speed as they ran from the village. Naruto carried Naomi on his back because she was still weak from being returned to life. Karashi had tears in her eyes as she processed all the information. Sasuke held Kara's hand tightly as they led the group. Hinata ran beside Naruto, intent on staying by his side. Naruto glanced back at his mother. He still couldn't believe he'd gotten her to come, and that they were all going to her home in Landpool Village. The plan was simple. Start a new village. Well, it sounded simple. Naruto, I thought we should go to the Hidden Cloud Village instead of starting a new village. I'm sure the Reckon would love Ninja about Calibur and his ranks, and we also have several No, Naruto interrupted Kara. The Cloud tried to kidnap Mom and Hinata and use them as a breeding stock. I refuse to be a part of that. Sasuke spoke up. I think it's best that we stick to the current plan. If a Shinjin and a Uchiha could start a village as powerful as Konoha, then I'm certain we can do it. Everyone, when we get to the beach, I need you to stop. I have to show you how to get across, Karishiman called as their feet hit the sand. I never believed you would call upon us, Shuki. A man with purple ripple pattern in his eyes was speaking to Fuji, who was wearing the Kage hat. Desperate times, Pin-sama. Will you take the mission? In return, I will give you the 9 tails and support your goals. Fugashi reached his hand out for Pin to shake. Do not touch me, mortal. I am God. I am above you. Though I hear you are quite capable, being a rival to Minato and Uzumaki. You must know a few tricks, Pin replied, eyeing the Uchiha. Fingauki sighed. I have one request. Spare none of them. Kill all of them. Even your son. Very well, Uchiha. But can you tell me of their abilities? Pin asked, looking to gauge the power of the threat. Fuki closed his eyes. Hinata Hage is the weakest of them, a close-range fighter and uses of gentle fist. She's around Chinin in power. Hoku Garu utilizes ice style as part of his bloodline. Senbun needles, and he can use water and wind style rapidly. Naruto Uzumaki is the upper Chunin, if not her abilities with her parents' jutsu. She utilizes Rasengan and her mother's chakra chains. Kashi Uzumaki is a monster of seals, her chains and swords. She is upper Junin in skills. Karin Uzumaki is the carrier of the Nine Tails, able to increase her powers dramatically with the fox's chakra. She can be anywhere from Chunin to upper Junin. A dragon has two bloodlines. One turns his body into black metal that is very nearly impenetrable. The other is lava release. He is very dangerous at close range and a proficient user of Naruto, including heat, fire, and lava. He's upper level Junin. Zuba is the master of silent killing techniques. He is an upper Junin and uses heavy swords and power water style techniques. My son Sasuke has a Rasengan and fully matured Sharingan. He possesses the power of both and a few other powers like teleportation. He is beyond Kage level, able to wield elements, control death, gravity, time, and space. See farther than normal, predict movements, call on the black fire, use the Taijuku of the Sonin. I don't know what all he's capable of. Naruto will be a problem. He may not have as many abilities as Sasuke, but he has more chakra than the Kyuubi and doesn't feel human. His chakra can be focused into blast to obliterate whatever they hit. He uses wind style jutsu. He is surrounded by black orbs that will protect him and fight for him. By spies as they see him possessing other abilities as well, but couldn't get closer without getting killed. Pin didn't show the feel he actually felt at the description of Sasuke and Naruto's powers. I would take the entire group to kill them. I think it would be best to use guerrilla war tactics. Kill one, then escape, then repeat the process until we can't anymore. Actually, Pin-sama, Toby knows two people strong enough to fight them. An almost cheery voice came from behind them. Pin sighed. Toby, what have I told you about listening in on the conversations of others? To not to? Toby scratched the back of his head and then pointed at Fuki. I don't know two living people that could kill the entire group, though. You guys met Rise and Night? He sure was a hoot. Anyway, his brothers are trapped, and only truth-seeking balls and a sage cloak can free them. Or so everyone thinks. Toby is a cheater, doesn't play by the rules. Explain, Fuji commands. Toby flinched, then giggled. You're scary, Mr. Uchiha. Foolish child, you will do as I ask. Toby tilted his head. Will I, Pin-sama? Will I do as he asked? How do you deal with this intolerance, fool, Pin? Fujiki yelled angrily. Pin sighed very carefully. He glared at Toby. He is more powerful than he looks, perhaps only Ashiku members who could defy me. Toby, please explain. Oh, okay. Toby has a Sharingan, a weird one. He pointed at his eyes and allowed it to become a Mangekyou. I don't have the Amashu or Tazu or Sonu. I have the ability to warp to any location, but the wrapping sucks me up to real small before I can vanish. Once I'm real small, I teleport through the keyhole and get all of us out. He means I can go intangibly. He means intangible, Pin interrupted. Yuki rubbed his forehead. How powerful are they? Being considered. The younger one is SS class, and the older one is beyond triple S class. Which the highest standard we use? They could take an entire civilian village full of men as powerful as you. And they both have their own unique powers as gods and demigods. We know that the younger one can create matter, but we have no idea what the other one is capable of. I need time to think on this. Chapter 46, Raising the Monster Within. At the Valley of the End. The wreckage of Naruto's and Raizen's fight was so fresh, the landscape would likely be scarred for decades to come. Rebels shifted, and a bloody hand poked out from one of the craters. Uchiha stood, his shirt covered in blood and tattered badly. He was covered in burns and tear skin. Ichi cast tired eyes to the sky, glaring at the moon. I'm alive. His mind flickered back to the attack. Heaven's wrath, Amarusta. Raizen cursed and opened his mouth, allowing the soul to blast out. Ichi blinked, his internal mangaku staring and allowing him to focus his new telekinesis around his body in a tight cocoon. Then everything went white. Ichi chuckled. Coward. His feet lifted from the gown. Only benefits of having a parasite in my head was getting to study his powers. Ichi could feel the powers. It was insane, powerful, and dangerous. His Sharingan roared to life, and his lips parted. His body tensed, every muscle fiber flexing in anticipation for his thirst to be quenched. So I was right. I could see your chakra. Sasuke appeared via teleportation. Ichi eyed him warily, every fiber screaming to run. Foolish brother, you shouldn't be here. Sasuke stepped forward. Are you okay? Better now. The influence is subsiding. Ichi looked at the cut on his chest. Any deeper and you'd have killed me. Sasuke nodded and helped him up. Some stuff happened. You probably aren't going to like this, but let's see. Kakashi is Hokage, and the village is led by Naruto, Zubai, Hakake. Me, Kara is missing Nin. Ichi looked at his brother, waiting for the joke, then cursed. Shit. Alright, start from the beginning. Naruto was on one knee, eyes closed and palms on the ground, his power radiating from within him. He pulled at the power inside him, thrusting it outwards when it happened. Rocks, dirt, grass, and leaves, all manner of debris began to float around him as the power of gravity took hold. He grinned. His power had begun to grow since leaving the village. Naruto, I know where you should put the village, his mother told him. Over the past few days, they had been hunting down Uzumaki clan members, and Karsha knew about the Hokage uncle, and they all decided to join in the starting of the new village. With the second coming of the stage of Six Pass and the stage of Orbital Pass. Where? He asked, his aura fading inside his body again. She smirked. With you and Sasuke having gravity manipulation powers, my Fanjutsu skills could easily have a village hidden in the sky. Isn't that a little directive of a village hidden in the clouds? Asked a man from beside her. He had short black hair and piercing blue eyes. He was pale and athletically muscular. He had light facial hair and wore black nin clothing, shoes, and a metal toe guard with metal shin guards. His pants were black, and he wore a dark blue tank top with a black band around his right bicep. She glared at him. No one asked you, Kanshi. Kanshi Yuki was a Jonin that had left the Mist Village a few years back, before Haku had been born. He shrugged. Then he caught sight of his nephew, Haku. Whatever, I'm supposed to be teaching their aunt how to properly use his powers anyway. Catch you later, Uzumaki. With that, he jogged off to catch up to Haku, who now had a shorter haircut. Naruto struggled to meet his mother's gaze. To him, she was just above a stranger. They had talked more in the last hours than his entire life. She apologized, of course, but he couldn't fake the emotion she wanted. She stood and dusted off her pants. All right, I can see you don't want to talk right now. If you need me, just give me a shout. You look so much like your father. I'm here for you, you know. Naruto's eyes widened as he gritted his teeth, the chakra inside him raising to explode outward and attack her. Instead, he crouched and circled his chakra cloak, the power easily rising through him and empowering him. Then he kicked off the ground and flew to the top speed until he found a canyon that was deserted. He landed and his powers began to shake wildly as his ankle grew. I'm here for you? What the hell? Where the hell was she when I needed her? He brought his fist down with all his might, shattering the ground beneath him. His feet kicked up a massive mushroom cloud of dust. The ground shook and shifted as his punches continued to region down the earth until the power actually managed to shift the tectonic plates deeper in the earth. I begged for you to pay attention to me. I begged every damn day, and you two never wanted me. Electricity cracked across the sky, his power causing natural phenomena in the sky. The clouds darkened and the wind kicked up around him, blowing away the dust cloud. He breathed heavily. His powers had grown exponentially and caused several tornadoes around the canyon. Thanks to his natural wind affinity, but he didn't care. His power was enough to wave his arms to then completely stuff him out. Naruto, Sasuke stood across from him, the wind never touching him as he appealed gravity released as a type of shield. He was the only one besides Hinata that he trusted. His aura dropped and he fell to his knees. Why? Why didn't they want me, Sasuke? Dad didn't want me to the end. Mom only wants me because I remind her of Dad. Why can't anyone love me for me? Sasuke knelt in front of him and put a hand on his shoulder, then spoke to the blonde. Naruto, you have people that love you. You're my brother, Ichi's brother. The clans like you, they don't like anyone. Hinata left the village to be with you. Your sisters love you, and despite what you may think, your mother loves you. Hakuryu loves you like a brother. Zaba's grumpy ass even loves you. We all followed you, not Kara. Everyone here is because of you. Naruto looked at Sasuke seriously. Thank you. Also, Ichi's alive. Sasuke smirked at Naruto's expression.